Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Sunday, July 19th. On the impact map on the left, we do see some lightning coming up into the Sierra, a mix of wet and dry. Similar story isolated across the Uintas of Utah. There will be some gusty winds coming in across the Snake River Plain into parts of southern Idaho today, approaching critical levels, not super strong, but any ignitions could start some fires. However, the bigger story will be the developing lightning that starts up in southern areas on Monday. You can see the drier strikes expected to be in the red areas, mix of wet and dry lightning in the yellow, and then on Tuesday, on the right-hand side, you see the area expanding in coverage as it moves further north. That'll be our next potential big lightning outbreak. Precipitation over the past 24 hours with some isolated thunderstorms across the high Sierra, also continuation again across eastern Utah, and that's where on the right-hand side we had some lightning in both of those areas. New fire starts in the red, existing fires in the yellow. You can see activity starting to become a bit more widespread, pushing up into parts of Idaho as well, and we have existing large fires in these open circles. It's been quite dry the past 7 days. You can see just across eastern Utah, just in some isolated heavier thunderstorm cores near the Colorado border, we might have had a half inch, otherwise just trace amounts to several hundredths. Percent of normal on the right-hand side, you can see how much of the geographic area is anywhere from 0 to 10% of normal, and even in the southeast areas, still maybe only 25 to 50% of normal precipitation for when the monsoon usually starts hitting. You can see the critical fuels and the ERCs near record levels in the purple, 90th to 97th percentile in the red and dark red. And you can see some of those high percentiles near 80% starting to push up into Idaho as well. So the drying pattern continues. 10-hour fuels critically dry in those red areas, and even in the pink areas, 5 to 6% 10-hour fuels could support fires in finer fuels. Satellite imagery shows the finally developing monsoon pushing up into southern central portions of Arizona. However, we've only been getting little brief spokes of moisture breaking off into it. Tighter height lines through here across Idaho indicates where some of the stronger winds could be, especially across the southern part of the state. Otherwise, high pressure trying to build in off the Pacific coast, but having a difficulty doing so. So on the map today, rather innocuous. You have high pressure trying to build in across parts of California. Otherwise, some monsoonal moisture the deepest in Arizona, but see little spokes still breaking off through here. Significant fire potential. You can see where we're critically dry in the brown and moderately dry in the yellow. Winds today, you can see them across southern Idaho in these orange areas, gusting 25 to 30 miles per hour, otherwise lighter winds. Some of these spokes through here you see in these dark reds are outflow boundaries from thunderstorms that are more short-lived and local in scale. On the right-hand side, you can see what the precipitation is expected with some of that lightning activity. Now for tomorrow, we do have high risk for lightning in these areas of central Nevada, even into parts of adjoining Utah. You can see on the left-hand side this moisture starting to push further northwards. Again, you can see on the precipitation on the right-hand side, those little specks through there. That's the typical dry lightning signature where there's coverage of thunderstorms, but not a lot of rain reaching the ground. Winds fairly light overall, except again, southern Idaho, the terrain influences will cause 20 to 30 mile an hour winds. That moisture on the left-hand side moves a bit further northwards and consolidates on Tuesday. We should see more widespread lightning across central and northern portions of Nevada and into parts of Utah as well. We'll see if that coverage needs to be expanded, but you can see all across Nevada here that moisture moves northwards. Maybe a mix of wet and dry, but a lot of lightning over a lot of areas, as well as parts of Utah through here as well. Winds fairly light except for these numerous outflow boundaries with those associated thunderstorms. Precipitation, though, reaching the ground will be fairly light, just a few specks you see here. Wettest will be across the high Sierra and the Uintas, but again, the deepest moisture and the heaviest rain remains to our south and east. Now on Wednesday, the models are indicating that perhaps some deeper moisture could start moving into eastern areas of Utah. However, further north where there's drier air and some of these specks of moisture, we do see the possibility of lightning, high risk for the first time in parts of Idaho. So keep an eye on that, high risk for parts of Idaho. Thursday, that deeper moisture plume is still across eastern Utah, you can see a lot of these areas that were brown turning into yellow here with the high humidity and scattered showers. That trend continues Friday and Saturday as the deeper traditional monsoonal flow finally starts getting going across eastern Utah. But still dry across the north and still maybe some lightning across Idaho. We'll have to wait and see on that. 7-day precipitation totals, you can see that we are starting to see those bluish areas in eastern Utah. It's a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain. So that could start taking the edge off quite a bit, but still very dry once you get further north and west from there. Now the 8 to 14-day outlook does show a much below normal precipitation chance probability. This is July 26th through August 1st, so we'll have to see if the monsoon gets pushed back further south once again. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.